The gangster was driving his car, distracted by a conversation with a girl about her new stockings, when suddenly a three-wheeled motorcycle carrying boxes of fish swerved onto the road. Unable to brake in time, he ran over an old man. The car stopped, and the gangster jumped out to deal with the situation. Seeing the old man lying on the ground, instead of helping him or taking him to the hospital, he began accusing the old man of causing the accident. Gathering the fish scattered across the road, he threw it at the victim. At that moment, Tony, the old man's son, arrived at the scene. Seeing his father in such a state, Tony wasted no time arguing. He lifted his father and put him in the car to rush him to the hospital. However, when he started the engine, the gangster and his accomplices blocked the road. The gangster approached the car and mockingly said that the old man had dirtied his girlfriend's clothes. He demanded that Tony resolve the problem, or no one would be allowed to leave the scene. Suppressing his anger, Tony wanted to argue, but his father, despite his condition, begged his son to take him to the hospital first. Realizing the urgency, Tony swallowed his pride. He got out of the car, bowed deeply to the gangster, and asked him to let them go, explaining that his father needed urgent medical attention. The gangster smirked with satisfaction and pretended to agree. But when Tony returned to the driver's seat, one of the accomplices blocked his way again. Furious, Tony flung open the door and stepped out, intending to confront the thug. However, the thug began provoking him, threatening to fall to the ground and blackmail him if Tony dared to touch him. At that moment, the old man weakly shouted from the car, begging his son to take him to the hospital as quickly as possible. Not knowing what to do, Tony pulled all the cash from his pocket and offered it to the gangster, hoping it would be enough. However, the gangster sneered contemptuously, saying the amount wasn't even enough to replace a wheel. In the middle of the heated argument, Tony received a call from the hospital. A worried voice on the other end asked why his father had not yet been delivered. Tony tried to explain the situation, but the gangster, overhearing the conversation, brazenly intervened, saying that Tony didn't understand who he was dealing with. The gangster arrogantly demanded that Tony kneel and apologize for dirtying his girlfriend's shoes. Despite the humiliation, Tony was willing to do it to save his father. But the abuse didn't end there. The gangster added that Tony must drink the dirty water in which the fish had been lying to settle everything. When two henchmen forced Tony to kneel, the father, still in the car, used his last strength to call for help. A few minutes later, Tony's older brother arrived at the scene. Seeing the situation, he immediately headed toward his brother, ready to confront the gangster and his men.